Hey guys, welcome to a special episode of P&P. As some of you may have noticed, I massively dropped the ball last week, but I think I've got a pretty good excuse for that. I was at Nova 2017, taking part in basically every event other than Chaos and Arda, which I completely slept through. But it was because it was an epic evening before, so I'm not too upset about it. But anyways, let's get the formalities of P&P out of the way. Today, in honor of our esteemed host of Nova 2017, I will be drinking a Belgian Moon. Now, unless I'm mistaken, in America, I believe this is called Blue Moon. Here in Canada, it's called Belgian Moon. It is a Belgian white wheat ale. And I was told by somebody through the grapevine that Blue Moon is Devin's favorite beer. So I wanted to make sure that I took the time to do a proper toast to our host um, and thank him for an absolutely terrific event, especially for it being my first formal competitive event. All I can say is, wow, had an absolute blast. It was well run, well put together. The people there are, bar none, some of the finest people I have ever met in my life. To be entirely honest with you, just some absolutely amazing people, which we're going to get in and talk about after. Let's not get off track. Cheers. This one's for Devin, and hopefully it's not too long before our paths cross. Cheers, Devin. Thanks for a good time, buddy. That's quite nice. I can understand why he would like that. Crisp finish and the perfect combination of orange peel and coriander. It's good. Drink it. Give it a go. Belgian Moon, official beer of Devon. Anyways, cheers again, Devon. So let's jump right into sort of what happened at Nova. The trip down was absolutely fantastic. Had an absolute blast on the ride, getting to know the people that that I would be spending the next 5 days with. Absolutely fantastic. Had a complete riot. Couldn't ask for better people to travel with. We were laughing the entire time. It was absolutely fantastic. So we left Evan's place 10:30, 11 o'clock maybe, and crossed over the border at Fort Erie and traveled down through New York, Pennsylvania, into, I want to say, Maryland a little bit. Maryland maybe. Yeah, I think so. And then obviously on into Washington D.C. / Virginia. Uh, Amazing drive, beautiful scenery. Small town America is like straight out of a Norman Rockwell painting. Like that guy wasn't messing around. Like it is legit. What you see is what you get. Uh, I know me personally, I had just about all the freedom that I could possibly stand over those 5 days. Just an excessive amount of freedom in that place, and they are not afraid to show it. I don't know what the final tally was on American flags that we saw, but their patriotism is, there's nobody that's going to match the level of patriotism that the Americans love to demonstrate. So, hats off to you for that. Thank you for all the free freedom over the 5 days. It was epic. It added to every occasion, and in a non-offensive manner, it was the butt of every joke that we had. So it was a great time. We were just laughing, dying. The drive-through beer store was absolutely amazing. We were a little concerned at first because it did look like somewhere that when you pulled in, you weren't going to pull out. But the guy was super nice, loaded beer into the back of the truck, and away we went. So that was pretty cool. That was small town Pennsylvania. We made a quick stop to the Family Dollar, um, and picked up some amenities there. Just very interesting country in comparison to Canada. Not that I'm sure we don't have our own quirks, but very different to what we're used to. Um, Everything's different, but it's good. It's good. It broadens your horizons, I guess would be the best way to put it. So once our journey was complete, we arrived at the hotel. We were absolutely thrilled with the hotel. I think I can say for everybody, we stayed at the Renaissance Capitol View in Arlington, which was actually just across the street from the Hyatt, and I must say it was a beautiful hotel, modern, up to date, very clean. Small town guy like me, I've never had valet parking service. Those guys were awesome. Whenever I needed my truck, they just brought it up. Never experienced something like that, but very, very nice staff there. Yeah, so we got in, we got settled into our room a bit, had a couple pints, to which I probably should have filmed PNP then. Got a couple clips while we were exploring, so I'll be tacking those on to the end here. There is actually at the end of this video going to be the official OHA Nova 2017 workout. Tony was, or Antonio Russo, Tony, whatever you want to call him, he was kind enough to demonstrate. We got it on tape. You guys are in for a real treat. It was quite the display. And once again, I will state, as in previous PMPs, it is very important to stay hydrated during these activities, especially if you're going to be doing any kind of warm-up and or exercise prior to these events. Hydration is key, so make sure at the end of the video you check out that one. Once that was done, we decided we were going to, get something to eat. We went to a place called Bar Louie, and we were, I'm not sure what the best word to use would be. Underwhelmed at the quality of the service and the drinks, and very different. So, as a Canadian, I like to drink rye. I went in and ordered a rye. What they gave me was called rye, but it was not rye. For sure, and I told them as such. I said, do not put those letters on that bottle, RYE. That you should not be calling that rye. I think it was called Bullet Rye. Somebody needs to put a bullet in it, hands down. So, anyways, first night for food and drink was somewhat of a bust. We got back, had a few more drinks, and crashed for the night, and then the weekend just led on from there. That was Wednesday night. Thursday, everything just sort of spiraled. We met some absolutely amazing people. Dan Entwistle and Samuel Jeffrey out of the UK. Those two gentlemen absolutely made the trip for me. As well as Tony and Evan, 100%. Like those guys, we were the three amigos, man. Those were my wingmen, and the two Brits, we got on amazingly well, I think, and had an absolute blast. I could not have expected to have as great a time as I did. It was just constant laughs, and I cannot wait to see those guys again. Trying to work something out. I'm digging deep right now to try to get to Articon. Any normal year, I'd be like, done, no problem, I'm there, I'm in. Just this year coming up, I am getting married, and as such, there's a few outside pressures related to that, which I'm sure you all understand. But in the interest of seeing those boys, I'm going to do what I can to get over there. I know there's been some discussion about them coming over here, spend some time in Canada, and just know you are most welcome anytime. My door is always open to you. It was an epic time. Epic, absolutely. There's stories there that we're gonna take for the rest of our lives, and things that happen that are just amazing. So, anyways, that's sort of from a personal standpoint for me, where my mind's at as far as the conclusion of Nova. The competition was great. The gameplay was amazing. The tables were great. Devin was doing a fantastic job organizing. We were all over the place. One thing I will say, as a player that's new to the competitive side of things, you literally have time for nothing. Don't go in there thinking that you're gonna have time to go check out vendors. You're gonna have time to even eat in some cases. That's Saturday, 3 games for the GT. Like you are in there, and that's where you are. If you get lucky enough and you suck like I do, you can free up some time, no problem, to run upstairs and get yourself some pints and get back down to the boys and make sure that they're staying hydrated. Staying hydrated is key. I think there's a couple wins there. For on Evan's side, I'm going to take credit for because I was making sure that he was properly hydrated. Both me and Evan played doubles, and I shit the bed entirely. It didn't matter how hard Evan tried to dig us out. I put us in a hole just about every possible moment. I was rolling poorly when I should have been rolling good, as is the case. You can't fix dice, I guess. But anyways, it was great fun. Had an absolute blast. And again, the people. It's one thing I will say and stress. If you haven't been, you need to go. You need to spend time with people. You need to hang out with people. We were lucky enough to spend some time with Dave Nolan. We were also very fortunate to not only play Adam Troke in the doubles event, but we then were able to go out and just hang out with the guy that is responsible for this game. And interestingly enough, we didn't talk SBG at all. We just a bunch of guys at the bar having some beers. Or root beer or Pepsi for Mr. Troke. And the disappointment of his chicken wings, we were kind of all crushed about that for him. He was so excited to have chicken wings, and it just didn't pan out. But anyway, some great times with those guys, Dan Entwistle, Samuel Jeffrey, and Adam Troke. Being able to hang out with those guys, it was absolutely awesome. Probably the most down-to-earth guy I've ever met. Just a cool guy to hang out with and talk. Funny as well. Very, very funny. So to be able to, I've basically grown up with that guy. When I was younger with White Dwarf, his picture was always in White Dwarf. So, it's kind of funny this far along in my life to, run into him and be able to sit down and just have a beer. So it was cool. It was just so cool. The Nova experience in general. They had on the 18th floor, they had a bar set up, free food laid out. You could run up there, eat some food, grab a pint, liquor, whatever you wanted. The one thing I will say about America is you guys need to fix your last call, because my God, man, calling last call at 11:30 at night for a Canadian at least that doesn't work. Mm-mm. So a note to any of you Canadians who do attend, make sure you got booze in your room, because they like to shut the party down fairly early. So, other than that, though, the bar was great. Mingled with all kinds of different people from different gaming systems. The talk was there. The mini wargaming guys were there. Who else was there? Protos Games, I think it is, for AVP. Warlord was there. Fantasy Flight, showing off the new Star Wars Legion game, was there. There was a bunch of other vendors. There was Hobby Space. There was games out the yin-yang. Like, it didn't matter where you went. There was a game being played somewhere. And even when stuff wasn't being played competitively, there were people at the tables just playing for the fun of playing. So it was quite amazing. There's some good stuff. There are good places to eat in and around that are close. They bring in food trucks outside so you can get a quick bite. And you're not paying an arm and a leg through the hotel. Prices are a little different to Canada, especially seeing as you're in the capital. Things are definitely a little more pricey than I was expecting, for sure. But you get you pay for. You're paying for convenience. It's right there. That's sort of part and parcel to it, I guess. So they're gonna hose you. Doesn't matter where you go. They're gonna hose you for it. So time is money. Money is time. So other than that, the GT came to an end for me. I think I was 53rd, which is nothing to definitely write home about, but I'm quite pleased with that. Given my inexperience within the game, playing competitively and that sort of thing, I have no problem with that. I was just shocked I wasn't on the bottom. I had a joke. I was at top tables because it was at the highest number, but the guys all had a good chuckle at that. But that's what it's all about, right? You keep a positive attitude and just go and have fun. And even for being at bottom table, I had some very tight games, and every game I played was fun. It was absolutely fun. We had a little bit of a hiccup during the doubles where we did do a forfeit just because the individual that we were playing was no fun, and we we didn't feel like not having fun. So we cut out early and we went and got a pint. So I think in the balance of things, it was far better than getting frustrated and upset and letting it affect our time at Nova. So we nipped that one in the butt. But yeah, fantastic, fantastic. I was absolutely blown away. The Nova judges saw fit to award me with Best Painted Army for the GT. I'll post a picture up still at the end of the award. Just all I can say is humbled and thank you. I definitely didn't go into it thinking that I was going to be winning anything. Just looking at the caliber of the people that I've seen on the different channels and on the Facebook groups. I definitely, I didn't go in there thinking that I was going to have a chance, to be entirely honest with you. So to come out with it was very humbling and shocking all at the same time. But I am very appreciative. Won an amazing KR carrying case, backpack, double tray, like beautiful. Carry an entire army, 2 entire armies, I would bet, for SPG, maybe even 4, depending on what you're taking. But beautifully laid out, beautiful quality. So thank you so much, Nova, for that. And for the nod, and I got a beautiful plaque that I have now in my miniature cabinet right in front of my Iron Hills. So I was happy to get them tucked back into their new home with that new piece of shiny material in the back. So that was quite the surprise for me, but enjoyed it nonetheless. As far as Evan was 15th, I believe. And I want to say Big Tony was 47th, I think, in the GT. So strong showing there. Evan, definitely playing an army that he's never played before. Did a fantastic job of placing. I will say now, after going through and playing that with the Iron Hills are good. Goat Riders are very squishy. The one thing that I had learned by the end of the event was that my Goat Riders needed to stand behind my shield wall and flank out once the shield wall makes contact. There was a couple times where I needed my Goat Riders to do things that they just are not meant to do. So size of your army becomes a problem. Number of models. Breaking point was huge for me. I think there was only one game where I was not broken. The Ballista did actually amazing when the Ballista wasn't shooting. If the Ballista didn't do anything in a game where it was shooting, the crew was huge. Tied up things that it had no business tying up, and just sort of being kind of an anchor. Given the fact, obviously, it's not moving a whole lot. I would sit it on an objective, and things would come to try to knock them off, and they actually did a pretty good job of holding their own. So, given that they're defense 6 and fight 4, strength 4, like, they can hold their own. So they did well. There was a couple games where the shooting went off when it needed to go off. There was actually the last game I played, in 2 rounds of shooting, I was able to kill 7 dwarves with it. Just epic dice rolls. That's all I can attribute it to. Epic dice rolls and just maybe a poor choice of deployment for my counterpart. But again, we were all learning, we're all new, and that's the thing. When you're playing, I'm not ashamed to say, when you're playing at bottom tables like I was, you're learning. You're still learning. You're not a mid-table guy. You're not a top-table guy. You're a bottom-table guy for a reason, and you're learning the game. So you're gonna make mistakes, and you're gonna learn from it. I'm sorry. I went two losses and a tie on the Saturday, and then I went a loss and a win on the Sunday. So I can tell you, I took something from every game, did something different every game, tried something different every game, and found out what works, at least for me and my play style, with that army. So by the end of the tournament, I would have liked to have played one more game just to see what I would have done, and not for any sort of competitive reason, but just more so for me to see if that is in fact, if I had figured out for me how I should be playing them. I'm fairly confident I did, but it was interesting to see. There were so many dwarf armies. There was so much Iron Hills. There was a gentleman with a chariot there. I played that, and he decimated my Ironfoot with that chariot. The thing is deadly. You want to stay out of its way. But it was a great learning experience. there's a lot of people that would say, if you're not that experienced in the game, you have no business playing in a tournament. I would actually argue the opposite. The amount that you learn super quick, because you have to learn it super quick. I mean, so the Nova event, let's go through it. I played 3 games of Deadliest Heroes. Should have played a Chaos and Arta, but didn't. Played, I think, three rounds of doubles, and then 5 games in the GT. So that's a lot of SPG really quick, playing against some of, like, even if you're on a bottom table, you're still playing against some of the best people in North America, because you don't all start on the top table. So, I played, forget his first name, Gardner out of the States. He ended up finishing 10th. I played him in my last game on the tie. I believe it was the tie. I played him to a tie, and he was the 10th place guy. So, just goes to show you that, it's you're going to pick up locks, you're going to learn lots, and it's quick, fast, almost a better way to learn, because you're not letting all that slip. What you learn at that moment, you're going to be able to apply either the next game or the next day. So, would highly recommend it. Don't shy away from it. Everybody is so incredibly welcoming and helpful. I played Joe Hanlon, a fellow OSBGL guy, in the first round, and he cleaned my clock, but was kind enough to take me through things that I wasn't doing right, and to, give me advice. And that's a class act. That's an A1 opponent right there. He's there to compete, and he's a big enough man to realize, knowing full well, that there's no way I'm going to come out and beat him, so he may as well take the time to show me what I'm doing wrong and help me grow as a player, which is, at the end of the day, the best scenario for everybody, guys, because the better you get, the better the player base is, and the more top players we have, so the better the game we're going to be. That's the way everybody needs to look at this. Nobody should be looking down on anybody. It's a fantastic community, a fantastic game, and the fact that guys are willing to do stuff like that really stands out and shines. So hats off to you, Joe. Cheers, you're a class act, buddy. Hats off to Ben Boomer. Ben Boomer walked away with 2nd place in the GT. I know this is kind of all over the place, guys, but I'm just going with what pops in. There's no list today. I didn't write anything. Ben Boomer placed 2nd, which is awesome. Great job. I know that was a tough fight, tough way up for you, so hats off to you. Wish it could have been a 1st place, bud, but great to see that beauty come back to Canada and to show those Yanks that it's not just the Brits that know how to play SPG. So cheers to you for that one. As far as a recap, the last night was bittersweet. Had a great time again with Dan Entwistle and Samuel Jeffrey. Just hanging out, having some drinks, working out at the OHA gym / bar, which there's pictures of that online as well. Just a great time. Bittersweet, knowing it was the last night and having to part ways with those guys in the morning, but all in all, just a great time. So I wish I could say I'm looking forward to next year. I know for sure I will not be attending next year. It's just not something I'm going to be able to pull off. But hopefully the following year I will be back in fine form to represent Canada. And maybe, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but maybe I'll find myself in a little better placement. But if I don't, I really don't care. I had a great time drinking beers and enjoying all of the freedom to America. Thank you, our great host. Which leads me into the next topic. This one's going to run long, boys, girls, people. So Nova's out of the way. I brought back some toys to play with and paint, which I'll be showcasing on the channel shortly. But I wanted to take a minute to talk about Scouring the West Farthing. Things are really getting interesting with that event. There's hopefully going to be an upcoming announcement regarding that event that I think is going to interest some people and hopefully excite the community. It's really coming together. OHA George is doing an amazing job. If you haven't checked out the Facebook group, please do. The pictures of the Asciliath board that he is working on for that event are, bar none, one of the finest tables I have seen. When he pulls something together, man, I'm telling you, it looks amazing. He's going to be doing water through the center of it. It's going to be an absolutely epic board. There are still two. I think it's down to two. I think it's down to 2 spots for Scouring the West Farthing. So if you are interested, come on down, get in. You can play on these fantastic boards. If you're impressed by the Asciliath board, there's a secret board that has not been revealed yet. And I'm not going to spoil too much, but all I'm going to say is it actually puts Asciliath to shame. So if you're impressed by that, you're going to be really impressed with the next one. That being said, a reminder for this event, these boards are going to be very tactical. Deployment's going to be huge, and your generalship is going to be huge. This is not going to be a square off on even-sided terrain tables and slog it out with each other. People are going to get the advantage depending on where they deploy based on their role, which I think seems fitting given our sort of scenario feel at the OHA. Tables are going to be tight. There's going to be a lot of terrain, so you're really going to have to work with and maneuver within there, and and work around it. So I'm excited to see how everybody responds to that. I hope it goes over positive. I just want everybody to understand this is not just a standard tournament. We were going for theme. We wanted to maintain some kind of theme, and guys are being great about it. They're bringing themed armies, which is great. We're here to immerse you in Middle Earth. That's our goal. And obviously the table is going to be a huge part of that. So, take it with a grain of salt when you show up at the table and it's rammed and you're trying to figure out how you're going to move stuff. Just remember that in Middle Earth, that's what they were going to do. Not everything is even Steven, and you don't always get to pick the ground that you fight on. So we'll leave that one there. Cheers. There's some cool prizes that were picked up at Nova for the event, so there's going to be some exclusive prizing available, which is going to be pretty cool. Dice are going to be available. Hopefully new t-shirts. So these guys here, there should be some of these left, and hopefully a new run. We're going to see how much time we have. Hopefully a new run. And maybe some extra freedom. I don't know. I think I brought some freedom home, so if I have any extra freedom, I'll be sure to spread out the freedom. So Big Tony's coming. Tony, that guy, that gem, the beauty. That's going to be exciting. Lots of fun. We've got some people coming in from out of town on the Friday night. So the Friday night is a 100% go. We will have the small room. We will be running some sort of scenario and or free play. And we will at least be crashing at the hotel. Doing a lot of stuff, playing some games and hanging out, drinking some pints. So hopefully you can join us for that. Other than that, that's all I got for P&P this week. That's it. Well, not this week. A recap. It's a full-blown recap. I'm still going to do P&P this week. You guys just get 2 for 1 since you got gypped last week. But my bad. Sorry. Cheers, guys. Thanks again to everybody from Nova. Can't wait to catch up with you guys soon, and we'll talk to you later. This is the official Nova exercise video.
VP Pence, thank you to all who have helped here.
This is epic. Don't spill. Don't spill. This day's been shit.
Well, it's been one thing.
Epic failure.
On both sides. But
Both sides.
mostly by my partner.
Mostly by me. Yeah, it's awful. I'm never getting invited back again. I'll tell you that right now.
Trying to paralyze one of your dwarves? Nope.
This is happening.
I'm going to try.
This right here is happening, guys. Okay? Smile, you're going to be on YouTube.
I'd rather not be on YouTube.
Oh, and that's the end of this podcast.